So I'm recording this video as a follow-up to the one that I did about 2 weeks ago, calling for accountability from the bureaucrats and politicians presiding over the districts that the fires happened in LA. I'll put the link to that video below this, and also to a couple more takes on what might be happening that you might want to check out, but I'm not going to go too much into that. Everybody's already on the trail now, whether it was incompetence, criminal, or both. Combination of the two, I think, is most likely. I'm not going to go too much into that. What I'm going to delve into in this video is what is a bureaucrat, and why is this important to your safety and security, essentially, and the world that we live in and our standard of living, and how we understand the problems in society. A lot of what's going on can be traced to the inefficiency and incompetence at best, if you're giving the benefit of doubt, and criminal at worst, of bureaucrats, people in unelected positions that behave as if they have the mandate that an elected person would have and beyond. I mean, no accountability at all. For example, if you have a bureaucrat that makes the decision, I guess I am going to end up talking about the fires a little bit. If you have a bureaucrat that makes the decision to empty the local reservoir, not have the proper water pressure in the fire hydrants, not have the proper equipment and staffing because of budget cuts to the tune of tens of millions, and that's what's just come out already. If you have a bureaucrat that's making those decisions, telling people they can take the night off, when then the firemen are saying, wait a second, but this is going to be one of the most horrific fires we've ever seen. We can tell by the conditions. All the conditions were converging for that to happen. And you have a bureaucrat that presides over all this and then has zero accountability after destroying tens of thousands of people's lives. And what do you think the behavior that's being incentivized is? Well, the incentive now for them is that they can continue to make these bad decisions that destroy people's lives while they enrich themselves and their cronies and their families and the people within their circle. Everybody else be damned. And if you don't believe me, I think you just need to read some history. I mean, this has happened over and over and over again. We're just seeing the current iteration of it today, with things kind of coming to a boiling point. And I think more people starting to understand that this is far more serious than some petty political debate. I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about the decisions that affect your life and safety and security. I mean, this is a big deal, and I think this stuff has been going on for so long. There's probably not maybe the greatest chance that any of it can be changed, because it's been going on for so long, in a way that would actually right the ship. But in the end, I think it's better to try to do something about a problem than try to sweep it under the rug until it, smolders, and or sweep it into the wood pile or brush pile until it smolders and bursts into flames. I mean, which it literally did this time. I mean, people wanted to act like, oh, California, yeah, that the weather's so nice and this and that, and kind of, even if it was somebody that, I don't like how people blame all the California voters, because a lot of people disagree with a lot of these policies of the bureaucrats that were put in. But either way, I mean, if you're continuing to pay property taxes and live there, you're basically endorsing these criminals and empowering them with funds to continue destroying society. But it's easy to sweep it under the rug until it becomes something so glaringly obvious like this, where all of a sudden you lost everything, and in the blink of an eye. And there's, at least so far, and I don't necessarily expect there to be, there's no oversight, no accountability. the higher echelons, if the spotlight starts to be put on them, will throw somebody else under the bus. So, I mean, where does it really leave anything other than the understanding? I think if the light could be shed on how irresponsible at best these bureaucrats are and how criminal they are at worst, I think there could be some meaningful change, which again is not a partisan, it's not a left or right thing. It's more about understanding the function of them and how apt they are because of the incentives that have been set up, how apt they are to make decisions that destroy people's lives and livelihoods and continue to do it because there's no accountability. And if you think about it too, you like for some specific examples is so like take the homeless problem. So 25 billion or whatever it was, some astronomical number to solve homelessness. Yet homelessness is more out of control than it's ever been. The age of the people you see on the street is younger. The drug use and addiction is more out of control than it's ever been, and there's more money than ever being misappropriated and stolen through taxation, then misappropriated to these social justice causes or whatever you want to call them, which would be fine if they at least made an honest attempt to address these things. But the point is the money's being disappeared and redistributed into the hands of the bureaucrats who and politicians who initiated this garbage. And who pays for it? We do. Who suffers? We do. We get to deal with the crime. We get to deal with our communities being burned down while they just, maybe go to their fifth house in the next jurisdiction. Maybe theirs burned down too, but they got 5 more because they got endless money, seemingly, that comes from the way they operate with this facade of it somehow being legitimate and lawful, when all of it, even from the perspective of the law of the land, the Constitution, 3 branches of government, is illegal. It's a 4th branch of government. How does that go figure? The Constitution spells out. So unless the Constitution is scrapped and declared null and void, then how can there be a 4th, 5th, 6th branch of government? There can't, but they went ahead and did it anyway. And power does not relinquish its power. I mean, this is an age-old thing too. When power is consolidated into any group or cause or government, it only increases. It won't take the path of decreasing itself. It will only increase itself. So even on a legal basis, it's all illegal to begin with, but it's masquerading as if it's this legitimate and lawful thing. Another one, aside from the homeless one, I mean, it's you gotta laugh because if you either that or you start crying. I mean, this stuff is unbelievable, and I think it's only possible because it's not in the light of day. I think because people don't have the capacity, and maybe they will more so now after such I mean, it's not even, doesn't even seem like it positive because of at what cost. I mean, the cost of having so many lives and livelihoods destroyed with these fires. But I mean, maybe this will initiate some shift towards, all it is paying attention to start looking into how all of this works, how the scams and the fraud are run while you pay for it, right? While we all pay for it, while the public pays for it. So anyway, you got the homelessness boondoggle. You've got another one, the EV, all this, I believe it was federal money that was supposed to be for EV charging stations. None of them, maybe one got built, and there were supposed to be, I don't know the number, but hundreds or thousands. So where did those hundreds of millions or billions of dollars go? Did they just magically disappear? And then that's how much it cost to build one? So they're either tremendously inefficient or they're criminals. I mean, and either way, it's a problem, right? And that's the dots that I'm attempting to connect here. Either way, it's such a big problem that is not something that's just gonna like you can just ignore and go on with your life. You definitely can, but your quality of life and your standard of living and your safety and your security and your health will all be negatively affected as they have been. I mean, don't even get me started on pharma and the medical industrial complex or whatever you want to call it. I'll save that for other videos, but this is something that needs to be looked at. I mean, I get it. People are ecstatic that Trump's in, but they say they want to reduce the size of government. They're talking about the same things, but let's see it happen. I guess this is a fitting day for accountability from everybody in the government, but especially the bureaucrats presiding over the fires in LA. I mean, this is serious stuff. I mean, this is one of, if not the worst fire in California history. I mean, it's in the top 3, if not the number 1. It may come out that it ended up being the number 1. I mean, you're $250 billion of damage, which could double to $500 billion. And meanwhile, BlackRock's already in there offering people money for their land. Come on. I mean, we're in the final hours here of what the America we thought we were in and the one we're really in. So if we can hold some people to account for this type of horrific behavior that degrades our quality of life, all of the normal people that work, that want to have a peaceful existence, I mean, the two are incompatible, if that makes sense. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.